On June 7th, a distressing call was made to 911 at 10:06 p.m. Alex reported a horrifying discovery. The bodies of Alex Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, aged 52, and his son, Paul, aged 22, both shot to death. The tragic scene unfolded on the family's vast hunting estate, spanning 1,772 acres in Islandton, South Carolina. Shortly thereafter, they were both shot multiple times, one with a shotgun and another with a rifle. Before the incident, he was seen wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants, and brown loafers in a video recording. However, when the police found him later, his son was wearing different clothes. His housekeeper never saw the missing clothes again. What happened to Alex Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul? Who killed them? Who was the culprit? This is your partner in crime stories. Subscribe and let's move along this mysterious journey ahead. Once upon a time in South Carolina's Low Country, there lived the Murdaugh family. They were respected in their community for many years. 3 Murdaugh men worked as solicitors for the 14th Circuit District, like prosecutors. First there was Randolph Murdaugh Sr., then Randolph Murdaugh Jr., and finally Randolph Murdaugh III, who was Alex Murdaugh's dad. Alex Murdaugh, born on June 17, 1968, grew up in this family. He followed their path, going to the University of South Carolina and then law school there. In 1993, Alec married Maggie Branstetter and they had 2 sons, Buster and Paul. But as time went on, the Murdaugh family faced problems. They got caught up in troubling situations and people started to talk. The once respected family's reputation was tarnished by controversy and scandal. The peace in the Low Country was disturbed as gossip about the Murdaugh family's troubles spread. Their once solid reputation was now in doubt. Despite their history and respected name, the Murdaugh family found themselves in trouble. Their legacy was shaken, showing that even well-known families can face tough times. In 2015, something sad happened in Hampton County. A young boy named Stephen Smith was found dead on a road. The police thought it might be a car accident, but they weren't sure. Some people said Stephen and Buster Murdaugh from the Murdaugh family were friends, but nothing was proved, and no one got in trouble. Then, in February 2018, another sad thing happened. Gloria Satterfield, who worked for the Murdaugh family, fell down the steps at their house and later died. Some people thought it was strange, but the death certificate said she died naturally. However, there was talk that Alex Murdaugh from the Murdaugh family tried to trick Gloria's family out of money after she died. But the bad luck didn't stop there. In February 2019, Alex Murdaugh's son, Paul, had a terrible accident. He was driving a boat with some friends, and they crashed into a bridge. One of his friends, Mallory Beach, died in the crash. It turned out Paul was drunk when it happened, so he got in trouble with the law. It was a sad time for the Murdaugh family and the whole community, with so much tragedy happening one after another. In an unexpected turn of events following Paul's arrest, his father Alex found himself facing scrutiny over his financial dealings. Allegations of embezzlement surfaced, leading to a hearing scheduled for June 10, 2021, where Alex was to disclose his financial information to the court. However, just 3 days before the hearing, on June 7th, a distressing call was made to 911 at 10:06 p.m. Alex reported a horrifying discovery. The bodies of his wife Maggie, aged 52, and his son Paul, aged 22, both shot to death. The tragic scene unfolded on the family's vast hunting estate, spanning 1,772 acres in Islandton, South Carolina. As investigations unfolded, it came to light that Maggie was not residing with Alex at the time of the murders, owing to marital difficulties between the couple. Despite her reservations and suspicions about Alex's intentions, she agreed to meet him at the hunting estate on the fateful night of the incident. Maggie arrived at the family estate at 8:17 p.m., joining Alex and Paul for dinner. Just over half an hour later, at 8:49 p.m., both Maggie's and Paul's phones were locked, signaling the start of a horrific chain of events. Shortly thereafter, they were both shot multiple times, Paul with a shotgun and Maggie with a rifle. Alex claimed he was at his mother's house about 12 miles away at the time of the shooting, but the plot thickened on September 14th when authorities accused Alex of orchestrating a staged shooting on September 4th, allegedly in an attempt to secure a hefty life insurance payout for his son, Buster. This startling revelation emerged amid mounting allegations of Alex's financial misdeeds, including claims of embezzling a staggering $8.7 million from numerous victims. Over the ensuing years, Alex faced a slew of charges, totaling over 100, related to these financial crimes. Then, in July 2022, the hammer of justice fell as Alex was indicted on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of weapon possession in connection with the deaths of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. The trial kicked off in early 2023, with Alex taking the stand in his defense. While admitting to fibbing about his whereabouts during the murders, he vehemently maintained his innocence regarding the killings, insisting he was briefly at the estate with Maggie and Paul before leaving to visit his mother. Upon his return later that evening, he claimed to have stumbled upon the lifeless bodies of his wife and son near the dog kennels. Despite his pleas on March 2, 2023, the jury delivered a damning judgment guilty on all counts. Alex was sentenced to serve 2 consecutive life terms, a sobering conclusion to a saga marked by deceit, tragedy, and ultimately the pursuit of justice. The absence of Alex Murdaugh's clothes after the tragic deaths of his wife and son has raised suspicion. Before the incident, he was seen wearing a blue shirt, khaki pants, and brown loafers in a video recording. However, when the police found him later, he was wearing different clothes. His housekeeper never saw the missing clothes again. This discrepancy has fueled speculation about Alex's involvement in the murders. Some wonder if he changed his clothes to hide evidence or conceal his presence at the scene. However, without concrete proof linking him to the crime, it remains unclear why his clothes went missing or if their absence is significant in the investigation. The mystery surrounding Alex's clothing adds another layer of intrigue to an already complex case. As authorities continue to piece together evidence and unravel the truth, the whereabouts of his missing clothes may hold clues that shed light on the events of that fateful night. The timeline of events surrounding the tragic deaths of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh paints a compelling yet convoluted picture, leaving many questions unanswered and room for doubt about Alex Murdaugh's guilt. The sequence of events suggests that Alex was indeed at the scene during the time of the murders. Initially denying his presence, Alex later admitted to being there after incriminating evidence surfaced. The timing of the murders, indicated by the locking of Paul and Maggie's phones at 8:49 p.m., aligns with Alex's activities and calls made around that time, including calls to Maggie, despite his initial claims of being elsewhere. Further implicating Alex is a video recorded by Paul at 8:44 p.m., where Alex's voice can be heard in the background, contradicting Alex's initial denial of involvement. Between 9:02 and 9:06 p.m., Alex made calls and took action, but he later claimed memory loss for a crucial 4-minute window, raising suspicions of evasion of responsibility. The timing of Alex's movements further raises eyebrows. His Suburban started at 9:06 p.m., and he made brief calls on his way to Almeida, arriving at 9:22 p.m. and leaving at 9:43 p.m., only to return to the estate at 10:06 p.m., where he claimed to have discovered the bodies and called 911. However, his assertion of checking on his family before calling 911 seems improbable in just 19 seconds, leading to skepticism. Additionally, his mention of Paul's phone popping out adds another layer of suspicion. Despite the lack of murder weapons, the police linked the rifle and shotgun found at the scene to the Murdaugh family. However, crucial evidence collection was lacking in the investigation, possibly due to tunnel vision towards Alex as the prime suspect. Moreover, Paul's past involvement in criminal activity could have potentially led to revenge motives, adding complexity to the case. The absence of concrete physical evidence or witnesses further clouds the certainty of Alex's guilt, leaving room for doubt and raising questions about the thoroughness of the investigation. What do you think about this case? Stay tuned. We'll catch you with a new nail-biting crime thriller tomorrow.